What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk to you about NIO. I want to go over some of the data points, break it down on what is really moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So NIO is down 3.18%. 530 the low, 573 the high, and 63.4 million shares being traded. 54.8 is the average. So today overall is comical because the broader market is rallying like a beast. A lot of that has to do with just optimism associated to rate cuts. NIO somewhat participated first thing, so that's where you had that nice spike to that, was it 570 whatever, but that was rather short-lived. And so when it comes down to NIO, it is most definitely lagging today, and a lot of that has to do with analyst ratings. So we did get a couple new ones that was posted. So we had that 550 that was yesterday, Bernstein, Eunice, 44% success rating. Jeff from Citi, 42% success rating, gave a buy. 690 price target. 670 by Bank of America. That was, it shows today, but that was, I believe, posted late last night. And then you also did have a downgrade from Macquarie, 530 price target. That one was posted, but they didn't actually have a price target. So that looks like that was just updated. So overall, you don't really have that much in ratings, possibly maybe just timing. We should be maybe getting some more over the next couple trading days, but clearly Wall Street is not impressed based on NIO's earnings. As a consensus, 658 is that price target, which is over the last 3 months worth of ratings, and that does represent a 23.22% upside. So as per usual, Wall Street really hates NIO. And what I find comical about today is we did see Lee really flop on their earnings. Negative 39% year-over-year deliveries, negative 36% year-over-year revenue. Absolutely horrific earnings. Not only that though, they did cite bottlenecking, supply chain, a lot of the hot topics that Wall Street hates and normally would cause a stock to sell off. But what happens with Lee? It goes up 1.56%. So can someone explain that logic to me? It just does not make sense whatsoever. NIO obviously hits solid earnings. Yes, there was a couple red flags, as I did bring up in my video yesterday, but nothing to justify this push lower. So it is rather comical if you kind of ask me. And I think the biggest difference between Lee and NIO is just shorts. So right now, shorts are increasing 3.9 million shares in NIO. So that's kind of the big difference, right? You have one stock that is constantly getting suppressed. Doesn't matter if it's good news, bad news, it constantly gets suppressed. Lee, not so much. The short interest is like 3%, 2% or something. So nothing significant. So right now, shorts are increasing 3.9 million shares. 11.63% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 160.91 million shares overall are being shorted. Still do see some signs of manipulation because cost to borrow minimum is negative, so that does signal that there is brokers out there physically paying people to short NIO. So that's not really occurring with other EVs, more specifically Lee. So it's, like I've stated in the past, it is a very frustrating stock to own, plus even more so, very frustrating stock to even cover, because I see the good potential that it does have. It just has very crappy price action. And that's an understatement. That's just insane. So nonetheless, aside from all of that fun stuff, looking at options, 3.8 million in calls, 1.8 in puts, and then 46% of all the options being done are bearish in nature. From a bull standpoint, you'd see a consensus for it to be roughly around that 550 to 6 by the end of this week, by the end of Friday. Bears are anticipating for it to be a sub, kind of between that 5 to 550, so pretty much where it's at. So there is definitely more upside than down. On the secondary market, you are seeing only 3 transactions, so institutions aren't really doing that much with NIO. You have 1 sell and 2 buys, and then these are all the transactions occurring on the dark pool above $100,000. Given how active shorts are, it is fair to assume most of these are linked to them. Right now with it at 533, it is below that S3. So on the fib levels, it's absolutely mind-blowingly oversold. And at the end of the day though, with it breaking below that 544, that was going to be that line in the sand. That was going to be that very strong support. And with it breaking below that, it's kind of a virtual cliff. So it is really falling, which is rather odd because the broader market, like I said, is rallying like crazy. Very few stocks are red, Meta being one of them, very odd, but most stocks, even the most speculative stocks such as Beyond Meat, is up 18.42%. So definitely some crazy stuff is happening behind the scenes. Aside from all that fun stuff on the actual chart, this as well does paint a pretty vivid picture of that cliff falling. So the next strong support is going to be that 200-day moving average, and that is sitting at 501. So potentially that is where NIO might be heading next. We'll just have to kind of wait and see. But ultimately you do need 2 days below a key moving average or even a support level to really signal a trend. So still some opportunity for NIO to fight back and get above that 544, but this is one very, very red chart, which is again unfortunate. But even looking at the market position, you don't see any willing buyers. So in my opinion, even though technically I do have puts, so I did sell puts for this Friday and next, so it does look like I'm going to be getting more NIO shares. As much as it pains me to say, it does look like there is going to be a lot more downside, only because no willing buyers. Like, they put out their earnings, which in my opinion was phenomenal, unless maybe some bullish ratings do come out afterwards. It's just kind of in free fall. So it's unfortunate, very, very unfortunate. So let me know your thoughts on NIO. Are you buying? Are you selling? What do you realistically feel is going to be the next big catalyst? Q4 is going to be a massive, massive deal for NIO. That was very apparent from their earnings, right? So if they are able to hit a home run in Q4, then yeah, things could really move higher. But technically their next earnings is going to be, probably mid to late February, possibly even March. So it's going to be a while until they do announce whether they were successful and things along those lines. So let me know your viewpoint on NIO. One final thing though, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. I put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades, worthwhile to kind of pop over there and check that out. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.